Yesterday, Apple may have stolen most of the headlines with the announcement of the new iPod Nano with the camera, but earlier in the day, Palm actually eked out some headlines of their own with the Palm Pixi. It's the follow-up to the Pre. Now, it doesn't have a sliding face like the Pre does. Instead, it's a regular smartphone with just a keyboard and no sliding action at all. But is this going to be a hit, and should people give it a look? Let's bring in Seth Porges from Popular Mechanics to talk about it. Seth, thanks for being with us.
Thanks again.
So, we were all really excited about the Pre, especially me. I was really excited to see something that really was competitive for the iPhone. Now with this Pixi, it seems like the formula is a little bit different. Can you kind of break down exactly what the Pixi is all about?
Well, the Pixi is very, very similar to the Pre. It's also going to be on Sprint. It's also from Palm. It also runs WebOS. It also has a keyboard. The differences are just pretty much three major differences. First is the form factor. As you mentioned, the Pre is a slider phone. The keyboard is always out. It's a candy bar style QWERTY phone.
So it kind of looks like a BlackBerry or some other phone. That,
it's a little bit more elegant. It really is an emphasis on style. It's very shiny. It feels really great. It's got that same rubberized keyboard that the Pre has, and they told me that women really like that keyboard because their fingernails can stick into and they can type with their fingernails. And you can tell by the name Pixi that's probably going to be targeted to women, and they kind of confirmed to me as much when I met with them.
Yeah.
The other two major differences between this and the Pre, one is that it has no Wi-Fi. The Pre has Wi-Fi. So if you want to surf the web and use your email and do all that fun stuff, you have to use the EVDO network, which is great because Sprint is a very robust EVDO network. Shouldn't be a problem for most people. And the third major difference is the innards, the processor. It's different. The Pre has a really cool kind of dual processing system that allows the modem to take over some of the action and all the video and web and all the other stuff to kind of have a discrete processing unit. Yeah. This doesn't have that. So you might notice some lag if you're doing things like watching videos, but most people, for things like texting and email, there won't be really any difference in
Palm, for years they've always had sort of this higher end device. When the Trio 650 came out, it was like the big thing. And then the last few years they came out with the Centro, and this is sort of along that same line of a cheaper phone for more regular people. I mean, but it's still the WebOS that we all expect, right?
Yes, this is sort of the spiritual successor to the Centro. The Centro is nearing the end of its life cycle, they told me. I asked them if this was the follow-up to the Centro. They wouldn't really call it a follow-up, because I think they view it as a little bit more advanced of a product.
Yeah.
But it's sort of the spiritual successor, probably going after a very similar market. People who maybe used to feature phones but are making the jump into smartphones for the first time, and they want to make it easy on them and, most importantly, inexpensive. They wouldn't give me an exact price, nor would they give me a release date. They said by holidays it's going to come out. So look for probably October or November, sometime before the holidays. Price-wise, as they said, price-wise, the Pre is dropping in price down to $150 after rebate and contract, which suggests to me that this is going to be probably about $100, and maybe if they're really keen, free, although I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, that would be I think that's a little bit, it just would be too good to be true, especially if it was Sprint. If there'd be a big rebate involved, it'd be like, it's $700, so you send in a rebate, it works all out anyway.
Well, if they made it free, it would be extremely aggressive, competitive move, especially because the other day they just announced this new pricing plan where you can get pretty much unlimited everything across any network for $70 a month, which is really competitive. And they said that people who are on current sort of all you need data plans that pay more are just going to be dropped onto this price automatically. So if you can mix that with like a free or really cheap Centro, which can take advantage of all this because it is an EVDO Rev A network phone, it's really compelling for people looking to get some high-speed network access for pretty cheap.
Well, and the last thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, if you're recommending someone, I mean, we have people asking us all the time, like, what phone should I get, what phone should I get? You've had hands-on with this, you play with it for a bit. I mean, if someone comes up to you and they ask, should I get the $99 iPhone or the $99 Pre? I mean, have you really even played that scenario out in your head yet?
Well, it's never a one-size-fits-all proposition. Yeah. For some people, the iPhone is the best phone. For some people, a WebOS phone, such as the Pre or the Pixi, will be the better pick. It's really a matter of trying a phone out and seeing what you're comfortable with, and if you're not comfortable with it, returning it.
Yeah, so. I guess for me, the physical keyboard, really. If you want the physical keyboard, you go Pixi. If you want all the apps, you go iPhone. I don't know. Maybe that's a good starting point.
The App Store in WebOS is still very, very small. There's only like 60 apps available right now, and there's 60,000 on Apple's App Store. Exactly. So they have a lot of catching up to do in that department.
Well, Seth Porges from Popular Mechanics, thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it. I'm Randall Bennett. Don't forget, you can catch us on iTunes. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere. We'll see if we can get us on the Pixi. I don't know if that'll work, but hey, we'll try it anyway. See ya.